Shalom, brothers and sisters. Did you realize in my last programs I talked about Daniel interpreting Nebuchadnezzar's dream? But did you know that there was somebody before him who interpreted dreams and to a powerful monarch too? His name was Joseph of the tribe of Joseph. He was the tribe of Israel, and he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to read this to you in Genesis. So let's begin. Genesis 41. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years, Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kin and fat-fleshed, and they fed in the meadow. And behold, 7 other kind came up, and after them the river, ill-favored and leanish, and stood by the other kind until the brink of upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and the kind did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kind. So Pharaoh awoke after he saw this. He didn't know what to think. And he slept and dreamed the second time, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh woke up, and behold, it was a dream. He was perplexed by that too. It came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof, and Pharaoh told them his dream. But there was none that could interpret the dream unto Pharaoh. So unlike Nebuchadnezzar, where he wouldn't even tell them the dreams, he forgot about the dreams. He wouldn't tell them. At least Pharaoh here, at least he told these magicians and wise men his dreams to have them try to interpret it. Then spoke the chief butler. This butler here was imprisoned with Joseph. You know, Joseph has been in prison for a couple decades, and he was with the butler and a couple others. And the butler said he would remember him because before he interpreted their dreams too, what would happen to them. So the butler, when he left, he didn't really remember Joseph until this popped up. So then he spoke the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me inward and captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, and I and he, and dreamed each man's according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, a Hebrew servant to the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams, to each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted for us, so it was me he restored unto mine office, him he hanged. Talking about the other one. One of them was hanged, the other was restored. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself and changed his clothes and came unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered to Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. Elohim shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood on the bank of the river, and behold, there came out of the river 7 kind, fat-fleshed and well-favored. They fed in the meadow. And behold, 7 other kind came up out of them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill-favored kind did eat the first 7 kind. And when they had eaten them up, It could not be known, but they had eaten them, but they were still ill favored at the beginning. So I awoke, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up, one stalk full of good. And behold, 7 ears withered then, and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. So they couldn't, they were perplexed. They were perplexed. They couldn't tell him anything. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. Elohim hath showed Pharaoh that he is about to do. The 7 good kind are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. So these two dreams are one. Yahweh was trying to show Pharaoh, give him the dream, but instead it wasn't really just two dreams, it was one. I mean, the same meaning. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kind and that came up after them were 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What Elohim is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of the famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by Elohim, and Elohim will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. Let them gather all the food of all the good years that come, and lay it up corn in the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be store for the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt. That land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this? Is a man whom the spirit of Elohim is. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for so much as Elohim has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as you. Thou shalt be over the house, and according to the word shall be my people. Be ruled only in the throne will I be greater than you. So Pharaoh's given him being like a prime minister. He's in second command. He only answers to Pharaoh. So he's got a heavy responsibility on his shoulders. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck, a sign of royalty, authority, and a royalty. And he made him to ride in the 2nd chariot which he had, and they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall be no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. So he gave him great honors. He gave him great honors, but a great responsibility. Not only did he interpret the dream, he had the task of organizing, saving up the food, putting it in store bins for the famine. The famine was approaching, 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of famine. I will go to 41-46 here. Let's see. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and he went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years, the earth brought forth its handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid it up, food, the cities, the food of the field, which was round about every city, he laid up, and the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. It was numerous. so much he couldn't even number it. He was storing this up in like grain bins. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which his wife, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For Elam said, he hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called Ephraim, for Elohim hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. In the 7 years of plenteous that was in the land of Egypt was ended, and the 7 years of famine began to come according to Joseph, as he said, and the dearth was in all the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. So in everywhere surrounding, there was no food. Is like a civilized worldwide famine, just about. But except in Egypt, they prepared. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto the Egyptians, Go to Joseph, what he saith, you do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened up the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all the countries came into Egypt to Joseph to buy corn, because it was a famine, was no sore in the lands. So Joseph, you can say Joseph saved Egypt and the world at that time, but it was really Yahweh using Joseph to save, and he had a purpose in it and everything. And Joseph was well rewarded. I mean, he didn't expect it. I mean, he probably humbled just to be in front of Pharaoh and do a service to him. He didn't ever expect to get a royal title just like that. That's the story of Joseph, how he saved Egypt and the world, the known world back then. And I learned that. I read that, and that story long time ago, and I just remember bits of it when I was a little kid, and that compelled me when I was doing my scripture studies. I just wanted to get back and read the whole story of Joseph, not just saving, but just the other things about how he got put in slavery, the reunion of his brothers, and things like that. His father, he loved his father. Joseph was Israel's favorite son, of course, and then Benjamin came, and that was his other favorite son out of the 12 tribes. But I just find it an inspiring story. And archaeology is proving that Joseph did exist, and he was down in the land of Goshen. Even though you don't hear about it on TV, I mean, they won't put it on TV here because atheists, of course, are blocking it, and secular people, they don't want to know anything about it. If you got to prove, they just censor it. But anyways, I encourage you to read the story of Joseph, especially the one I just told you, because it's a powerful statement, and it just proves the power and love of our Creator and the things He will do for us, the love He will do if we just live the righteous life, have faith, obey the commandments best we can. We still have the grace, of course, but grace shouldn't be taken advantage of, like a get me out of jail free card or anything. But that's all I want to say about Joseph right now. I mean, I'll be bringing him up again in the future episodes, and thank you again for stopping by, and please like and hit the notification bells, subscribe, comment below, tell me what you think about Joseph and how he saved Egypt and things like that. I thank you again. I really do. I thank you for, watching me. And until next time will be sooner than you think, I guess. But till next time, shalom, peace out.